are not united. Cultural differences has kept us apart. Mankind killed, even waged war because of their differences. The misconception of each other's culture has even worsened the problem. An example of such a situation is the September 11 attacks. In this tragedy, 2 planes were hijacked and they crashed into the World Trade Center. And a terrorist group, Al-Qaeda, had claimed responsibility for this attack. The leader, Osama bin Laden, claimed it was jihad. Now jihad to the Muslims meant a struggle for the good of Islam. But clearly, killing civilians is against the sacred sanctity of Islam. But now, because of this tragedy, the Western society now think that jihad is the reason for us Muslims to wage a holy war against the Western society. Now, all of us Muslims are considered as potential terrorists. Another situation is the Quran burning in Afghanistan. In this incident, a few US officials had accidentally burnt Qurans in their military base. The discovery of this incident had enraged the Afghans. Now, this tragedy, this incident, has led to weeks of protest. But the problem is, these US officials can't understand why burning the Quran was such a big deal. These 2 situations are because of the misconception of each other's culture. The Eastern Muslim society has perceived and stereotyped the Western society as oppressors, as big bullies that will take control of the weaker society, and the Western society perceived and stereotyped the Eastern Muslim society as potential terrorists ready to strike again in another time. These 2 problems are because they were not aware of each other's culture and they do not respect each other's culture. This is why world unity cannot be achieved. So back to my main point, which is cultural awareness and respect, the key to world unity. And so, what is the key to realizing cultural awareness and respect? My answer is the shift of our mindset. Our mindset is divided into 4 levels. I will tell you starting from number 1, the worst, to the number 4, which is the best. Moving on to number 1, which is my way is the only way. These types of people will only use their own methods to solve a problem, and they will ignore others. This is the worst type of mindset. The second level is I know their way, but my way is better. These types of people will sometimes listen to others' opinion, but they will still want to use their own solutions, their own methods of solving a problem. These types of people will consider cultural differences as something insignificant. They know that cultural differences has put them apart, and they won't try to compromise for the benefit of each other. The third level is my way and their way. This type of people will come up solutions and share their own methods to that solution, and they will pick which one is the best, but they will not discuss and work together to solve that problem. And the last level, which is the 4th level, which is our way. These types of people can sit together, can discuss to come up with methods to find the solution to their problems. These types of people will put aside their differences and work together efficiently as a single unit, as a team. This is my target. These types of people are the ones that are aware of each other's culture and they respect each other. Such a time when there was this level of mindset is is after the Tohoku earthquake in Japan. This earthquake has caused a massive tsunami in a few big cities, but amazingly, many countries had sent rescue teams to aid Japan, and over 90 countries had donated blankets, food, and money to the victims in Japan. Help poured from all over the world. It was not about helping a Japanese or an American or a Chinese. It was about helping another human being. This is the fourth level of mindset. So, to get cultural awareness and respect, we must first promote cultural awareness and respect. I have divided this action into 4 steps. Number 1. Step 1 is increase cross-cultural knowledge. Logically, for one to accept another knowledge, one must first know about the knowledge, know about the culture, gain knowledge about that culture. And one of the easiest ways to gain knowledge is through education. In most fully residential schools in Malaysia, there is a system where the students have to take the third language. They can be Arabic, Chinese, Japanese, or French. And by learning this language, they can be also exposed to the culture of the people of these languages. As an example, if one is to learn Japanese, if one learns Japanese in that class, the teacher will not only teach them about that language, but she will also expose the students of the cultures that the Japanese people, the Japanese people's culture. So this is how we increase knowledge. And after knowledge, which is the second step, which is creating cross-cultural awareness. Cross-cultural awareness is the ability of one to perceive another culture. With this ability, what one may conceive as a taboo may be something he will know that it might be something done daily in another part of the world. So his perception will not only be by his culture only. Such an example of what will happen if we do not have this awareness is during the incident where the Quran was burned in Afghanistan. It was a religious misunderstanding. How the Christians treated their holy book and how the Muslims treated their holy books are different. It is very different. The Muslims treated the Quran as the word of God passed on to the Muslims by the messenger. But the Christians, they acknowledge that the Bible was written by man. It is only the story of Jesus. So the reason the US officials in Afghanistan can understand why it was such a big deal, because the way they treated their holy books are different and they were not aware. So this is why awareness is very important. The third step, which is creating cross-cultural sensitivity. The ability of cross-cultural sensitivity is the ability of one to read into situations, into behaviors, and will be able to adapt to that culture. This, if we have sensitivity, racism, and things like that can be prevented. An example of what would happen if we do not have this sensitivity is what had happened in Malaysia a year ago. The novel Interlock was used as the novel for the Malay literature. This novel contains elements deemed offensive to the Indian community. This has raged the Indians. So as a result of their protest, the novel was no longer used as the literature books in Malaysia. This has caused a lot of trouble for the students, especially the ones that had to change their literature books and study a new one. This was these kinds of problem can be prevented if we have sensitivity. And after sensitivity, I go to the fourth and final step, which is developing cross-cultural competence. Cross-cultural competence is the ability of one to digest and to transform all the knowledge and the awareness that he has gained to develop, to adapt, to create a synergy within that society itself. He will be able to put aside his differences. His culture will be he won't only deem his culture the only one that is important. He can able to mix with people from other culture. These are the ones with the fourth level of mindset. So how do we develop cross-cultural competence? It is by a practical learning concept. EFS, a non-profitable international exchange organization, for example, has organized and supports intercultural learning experiences with the intercultural programs that they had held. An example of such an activity is the foster family program that they had done since many years ago. The students or adults that had joined this program will adapt to their foster family in other countries, and they will learn to mix with other cultures. They will learn the other cultures, and they will be able to mix, and they will able to create synergy within that society. So if everyone can have this competence, every world unity will not be a dream anymore, but a goal worth realizing. So in conclusion, with the 4 steps that I've told, the 4th level of mindset can be achieved, and world unity can be succeeded. Again, I would like to stress the importance of world unity with the quote by Abraham Lincoln: "It's either we live together as brothers or die together as fools." Thank you.